My ex contacted me after her perfect husband cheated on her. Now, her toxic friends are attacking me for not taking her back. She just got divorced. Her husband left her for a younger woman. She is 36, I'm 38, and her husband is 43. He left her for a 23-year-old Swedish girl at his work. She has 3 kids with him, including 2 young ones who are 3 and 4. She reached out to me on Facebook, saying she couldn't breathe when she saw my face again. She called me handsome and mentioned how she aged and all this stuff. I saw her on the alumni page of our college when I decided to join the group. I decided to respond to her, pretending to be friendly, but the pain came rushing back. I had forgotten about this woman, and it took me 3 years to get over her and move on. I still remember her making a pact with some girls in our class, saying she would never date me. That's what one of the girls told me. She said the other girls thought I was weak and not good enough for her, that she deserved a strong man. All these weird things made no sense. It was like they were jealous and planting seeds in her head. I still recall telling her that she shouldn't share everything about our life with those girls. If she talked about being sad or hurt, they would try to manipulate her. She cried and said she didn't know how to trust. Well, she trusted them over me and ended up cheating, making out with 10 people, including mutual friends and 2 girls I thought were our close friends. This was around the mid-2000s. She claimed she was drunk and tried to work things out with me afterward. But the trust was broken. I tried, but I couldn't do it, so I just left. It was hard missing her and holding her. I only got over her when a friend of ours ran into me at the bookstore. We talked about old times, and I asked about her. He told me she had moved on quickly. She never asked about me and never missed me. She started dating several guys, including one of our friends. What's sad is that I was friends with them first, and then she came along. I decided these weren't good people to be around. They all hid what she did from me and told her negative things about me. Eventually, she got married. This is what she told me in her post, and she mentioned seeing me during college. She still works and said she was grateful for having a high-paying job during this time. I told her I was laid off and felt like a bum to try to get her to lose interest more. She said her husband cheated on her and one day told her he met another woman, which shook her. She couldn't stop crying. He left her in 2019, and she tried to fight for their marriage. But he ended up getting his mistress pregnant, and they finalized the divorce quickly. She mentioned wanting full custody, but he gets to have the kids from time to time, which he said was the least he could do for the pain he caused her. She told me this was the man her sister and girlfriends all picked for her. They basically approved him. He wasn't good-looking or charming, but he seemed to have a good head on his shoulders and took care of his mum and family. She told me this was the guy she chose over me, and when she said that, she began crying. She asked me about my life and if I was married or had kids. I said no, so she messaged me showing pictures of us together, like everything was old times. I'm getting enraged. How does this woman think everything is okay? Does she not remember how she ended our relationship? She took their side over mine, left me for dead, never cared to check up on me, and now she only contacts me after she lost her looks. Her husband left her and used her. I remained calm when she asked to hear my voice. She said, "Can I call you?" I figured, okay, and the moment I said hello, she started crying. She said, "I can't believe it, my stomach is empty. I miss your voice." Real tears were flowing. I asked her if she was okay, and she told me she couldn't stop thinking about me. How I used to smile at her, how spontaneous I was, and how I would make her laugh. She even remembered the cologne I wore. I'm on the phone, containing myself. Because I'm feeling mixed emotions. I'm happy and sad, happy to hear from the woman I loved many moons ago. And sad because she stabbed me in the back and never cared about me. We talked, and she asked to meet up just one time. I hung up the phone, and then she texted me. "I'm sorry." I texted back and said sorry for what she can't answer. She said she can see me in person. It's easier for her to explain. I told her it's best we not meet in person with this COVID situation, and she insisted that they let you go out to eat outside. She said we can catch a bite, and she needs to see me, or she crumble. She told me she listened to the wrong advice and should have listened to me, but she struggled. She mentioned that she cried for days, torn about what to do. She wanted to be with me, but her friends told her I was a bum and would never be anything. They said I was just a pretty boy, and pretty boys always cheat. Because of that, she cheated on me to make me not like her anymore. She explained that's why she made out with multiple people at a party. She knew I wouldn't stop loving her. Her friends and family didn't like me, and she felt she couldn't choose me over them. Being the caring person I am, I didn't want to hear that she had already been through so much. Her husband left her, and she said she has nobody. I asked her not to bring it up because it was hurting me too. I didn't want to get angry. It's the past. I suggested she focus on her kids and maybe a single father will date her so they can have a blended family. I asked my aunts and female cousins for advice, and they told me she is a devil, a wolf in sheep's clothing. They advised me not to give her the time of day. They said a woman who loves you will die for you. She will never want to see you hurt. I'm a good man and care too much, and she knows that. My aunt then told me to ask myself, when I was hurting, was she there for me? If I were in her shoes, would she do the same for me? I realized the answer was no. Recently, her girlfriends messaged me, saying if I really loved her, I would give her a second chance. When I read that, I was furious. What about me? She broke me and left me for dead, and now they're trying to guilt-trip me. I replied that I didn't mean to hurt her, but she left me for that guy. How would they feel? She said she understood, but argued that just because she has 3 kids, doesn't mean she can't love me. She did love me before, so I should forgive her and move on. They said I'm not young either. This friend who was talking to me was one of the girlfriends who advised her that I was no good. She was the one who hooked her up with that guy she married. So, I'm thinking to myself, if this girl really did love me, why is she still talking to this no-good woman and having her message me? Then, 2 days later, her father messages me, saying my daughter is hurting and would just like some closure. Could I at least give her that? I was shocked. Closure. Why do I need to give her what she wants when she never gave me anything when I wanted closure? She left me for dead. I can't believe it. This is the man who hated my guts and loved that guy. She married the plain guy who cheated. Now he has the nerve to push me to get back with his daughter. This is crazy. I'm glad my aunts and cousins told me the real truth. Her father is trying to get me to take her back after she was used and tossed aside with 3 kids. After this man told her that her husband was a much better man than me, I'm getting angry. How should I handle this situation? Please help. Update. I struggled, but I had to meet her. I already made a mistake by answering her messages on Facebook and letting her call my phone. I met up with her, trying my best not to show anger. She was already waiting outside in front of the restaurant. When I walked up, I didn't notice her at first until she saw me. I was walking, and I saw someone crying with her hands covering her face. It was her. She ran up to me and hugged me, but I didn't hug her back. My hands were to my side. She was making a big scene, and people were there. An older woman walked by us and said, "Are you guys married? Is he coming back from the service?" I replied, "No, just an old college friend." The old woman said, "Well, she is acting emotional for just an old friend. You guys are cute together." I was already feeling overwhelmed, thinking this was a bad idea. She was making a scene, getting all emotional, and people were looking at us like we were in love, or like she was in love. They were about to kiss her. I kept my composure. As we ordered and waited for our food outside, she looked older, a little heavier. She told me she missed me and that her heart was pounding. We started talking, and she showed me photos of her daughters. I said they looked just like their father, and she was really happy. But for me, I wasn't. She was acting like everything was all good, and I just played along. We finished our food, and I wanted to talk to her privately, so I suggested we walk toward that park area and sit on a bench. I asked her, "So, what is the reason you wanted to meet me?" She said straight up that she missed me and asked me to please listen to her and not get mad. She said she wasn't good at explaining. She told me she messed up and understood if I didn't want anything to do with her. She added that if I hadn't been through the things I did, if I hadn't been with the guys I did, and married the guy I did who left me, I would never know she was the one. I then snapped on her. I couldn't take it anymore. I started calmly, saying, "So let me see if I'm getting this straight. You cheat on me and remain friends with the girls who talked crap about me. You French kissed at the party with those same friends, but you left me to die. You left me, the one who loved you the most, the one who only confided in you, the one who had nobody. You left me for dead. You did that." I asked her if she still talked to those friends. She started crying and said yes. I told her, "So you abandoned me, and now you want me to be part of your life again after your husband cheats on you and leaves you for a younger woman?" She cried, saying she understood. I said to her, "Do you know how offensive and shameless this is, that you would have the nerve to suggest what you suggested, like I'm winning some type of prize? What do I get that's special? What do you have to offer me that these younger women don't? You already cheated on me. You already left me for dead. You lied, you betrayed me. You still talk to those people, and you chose them over me. You had kids with another man, so that shows me you were using me. You think I'm some type of sucker who will just forgive you." She started crying hard, having a panic attack, saying, "I don't know how to say it. I don't, and I'm sorry. I beat myself up every day for what I did to you. I do," I yelled. "Crap, you are full of it. You moved on from me." She asked, "Who told me that?" And I replied, "It doesn't matter. You dated guys I hate, guys we knew right after you left me. I felt guilty thinking it was all my fault, and you lie, even now, you lie. You never asked about me. They showed a video of us together, and you didn't even shed a tear 3 years after you left me. I'm not doing this to hurt you, because I know how you are. You will go talk to your sisters and your girlfriends after this because you don't know how to think on your own 2 feet. And they will say the same crap they always did, that I'm no good and you deserve better." I told her, "I loved you. I wanted you to have my babies. If you had married me, I'd still be with you today." She said, "I know." Her sister called her while she was babysitting and said she had to go to work soon, so we cut our meeting short. I walked her to her car, and she tried to hug me again. I said no, but she fought with me, saying no, so I let her hug me. She started smelling my neck and told me how she missed my scent and my cologne, etc. Shortly after, I got home before bed. She sent me a text message saying, "I will not stop fighting for you. You asked me, what do you get that's special? Nothing, you were right. I gave myself to others, but I never felt what I feel with you. I fought it out and listened to others' advice, and I chose against you. I paid dearly and suffered for it. You deserve to have a fresh start with a younger woman. You deserve that. All I can do is try and prove to you, and I won't. I stopped fighting for you, and I hope you can forgive me. But if you don't, I understand." That was the last message she sent me, and I didn't reply. After we met up, I stopped talking to her. She would send me Facebook messages, but then she stopped. Before Christmas, she sent me a text message and a voicemail on Facebook, asking what I would be doing for Christmas or New Year's Eve. She sent me a quote about forgiveness again, and shared a story about someone who only matured later in life, implying that the story was about her. She didn't realize she hurt someone until she lost everything, and now she feels the pain of that person she hurt, someone she should have been with anyway. I didn't reply to her after Christmas. Then her friend messaged me on Facebook, calling me a pathetic excuse for a man. She said I was a coward and didn't deserve her, that I was weak for not moving on and forgiving her. She claimed a man should never do what I did, which was hurt a woman's feelings. She said I was showing my true colors and acting mean-spirited. Then she said if I really loved her, I would have given her a second chance, and that everything I said about loving her years ago was fake. According to her, my love was shallow and based only on her looks. She really ripped into me. I decided to message her friend back and said, "Well, what do I get that's so special?" She asked, "What do you mean?" I replied, "She cheated on me, left me basically abandoned, and had kids with another man that you helped her hook up with, and you told me I was no good years ago. Her friend didn't bother answering and just sent me the talk to the hand emoji saying, "You know what? This convo is over. You lose her. It's 2021. Women deserve better. Bye-bye." She couldn't respond when I pointed out that she was the one who hooked her up with that husband who cheated on her. Her friends are toxic. I still feel bad for her. She was naive and indecisive. It's sad when girls can't think for themselves, like my ex, who has controlling friends that do stuff like this. I silenced her friend with a comment about her hooking my ex up with a man who ended up cheating on her, while she had previously told my ex I was no good. This friend is a piece of crud. She shows no remorse or guilt for advising my ex against me, but then hooking her up with a man who turned out to be a fraud. Instead, she attacks me and calls me less of a man. I haven't seen this girl in 15 years, so what the heck? How is it my fault? Talk about deflecting blame. I ended up blocking the friend, but she managed to bypass the blockade and left me on read. The crazy thing is, I don't reply to my ex. Oh, I forgot to mention when her friend said, "How dare you?" This will be the first New Year's Eve she spends by herself. I mean, what kind of entitlement mentality is that? No, there is a pandemic, and they stopped all mass gatherings. They were trying to guilt trip me or something. I hope some people reading this can learn from my mistakes and my story. It's extreme, but always avoid females with controlling, manipulative, nosy friends like this one. She is the same friend who told my ex I was no good, but then she hooked her up with a husband who ended up cheating on her and leaving her. I feel like she attacked me on purpose to report back to my ex that she told me off, in an attempt to save face for being the advisor who told her to dump me, only to later hook her up with a guy she was so sure was better than me. She's trying to evade any responsibility for her poor advice and being wrong. I think she got jealous because she saw several girls inviting me over for the holidays, while I ignored my ex's message and invitation, but responded to theirs. I just said, "I'll see what's up," but text me back on my phone. These toxic behaviors never change, even into adulthood. She likely cried to her girlfriends and then attacked me, as if she wanted me to be the bad guy. This girlfriend is the same one who told my ex I was no good, and then, years later, hooked her up with the man who cheated on her. So, this girlfriend is trying to play the hero. Again, to save face. She's a true manipulator, who doesn't like to feel guilt. I wonder, is she a sociopath or a psychopath? Wait, this crazy friend hooked up with your ex's husband. Were they still married when this happened? Was this after she cheated? She is still friends with someone who cheated with her husband. No, her crazy friend is the one who hooked my ex-girlfriend up with her no-good ex-husband. She's also the friend who, in college, told me I was no good because I was good-looking and weak. She claimed I played football and would likely cheat on her. What's strange is that I barely even spoke to this friend, and she was always rude to me in person. Yet, she said all these things about me that were wrong. When I met my ex, she was monkey branching. I didn't know it at the time, but she would tell me her boyfriend was a loser and cold to her, making him out to be an idiot. She had me hating him, and then when I was ready, she jumped to me. After that, she told all her friends and family that I was being mean. She basically did to me what she did to her ex. I ran into her ex-boyfriend, and he was the nicest guy ever. He had no clue. She was saying all these things about him to other people. He said it was hard to believe. I said no, and logged into my phone to show him an email she sent me before. It said he was a drunk loser who had no time for her and was a jerk. He was shocked, and I was shocked too because he said he knew of me, but she told him I was only a friend from school. I'll admit, the only reason I don't block her is that she is watching me and hurting inside. She sees younger girls messaging me. She saw photos of my ex-girlfriends, and I know it's triggering her. I haven't replied or responded once. When I met her in person, she was no longer beautiful. The glowing young girl I knew was gone. She kept saying how handsome I was, and how she felt ugly around me, saying, "Wow, you are so handsome." She wasn't getting the looks or attention she used to. She was like a weakened dog, desperate for food or something, but I guess it was karma. I was gentle with her and never yelled at her. I haven't responded to a single text or voicemail. She likely cried hard when I responded to my former coworker, who is gorgeous, when she told me, "Hey, what's up, cutie? Haven't heard from you in ages, old man." She is 27 and calls me an old man, but she said she is moving back to California and wants to meet up with me. I think when I was responding, my ex saw them and got jealous or hurt, just like she always did. She probably cried to her sisters or friends. I feel bad for her. She is indecisive. I'm a good person and have no hatred or malice. Other guys would have sought revenge and crushed her. But not me, because I've moved on, and only painful memories remain. I remember in college, if we disagreed on something and I was upset, she would run and cry, calling her sister or friends. They would tell her what she wanted to hear, like it's not her fault. She cannot handle guilt or being wrong. Also, she struggled with her decisions. I remember her telling me that her sister advised her to give me an ultimatum and a checklist. The crazy thing is, when we were dating, she told me while crying that her friends said I was weak and would likely cheat on her. Just because I shook a girl's hand differently, and because I was a pretty boy on the football team. She was struggling with her decision and couldn't make choices on her own. Her friends knew she got cheated on in high school, and it hurt her, so they likely used that to manipulate her. All her friends are not good looking. She was the pretty girl while they all had ugly boyfriends or were single. Even her ex-husband was not charismatic or good looking. I'm not being shallow. This is just what a female friend of mine told me about toxic women. If they can't have the bigger, better deal, they get jealous of their friends who have a charming or sexy man. She said these are frenemies. What's funny is they told her I was a pretty boy and would likely cheat. Yet it was her homely husband who cheated? It's strange how their insecurity showed, judging me for my looks, claiming that because I modeled and played football, I would end up cheating. She surrounded herself with yes women. These women make her feel good and always kiss her issues are never her fault. She always believes she is right. She does things just for her own enjoyment. Remember one of her girlfriends once told her that she should sample different men before settling down. She confided in me that her friend advised her this, and they both ended up crying when my friend mentioned how deeply in love she was with me and how she couldn't stop thinking about me. Her overweight friend, who was more of a frenemy, started crying, saying, "But you won't spend any more time with us." Her sister also suggested that she give me an ultimatum or create a checklist. Her father, who was in the military, insisted that a man should behave this way and that, getting angry if a guy didn't open a door for a woman. So, she began to judge me, asking why I didn't hold her hand while we were walking in the mall. Ironically, the man her father and family friends approved of ended up cheating on her, while I remained loyal. Yet, they still judged me, dismissing me as just a pretty boy who would eventually cheat as well.